Science is great. If you don't agree, you can fuck off now. Thanks, Rose. Not so long ago, the Rosetta spacecraft landed on a comet, and that's fantastic. That's pretty mind blowing. And I wanted to make a video back then, but I didn't. But I'm making it now because of a few other things that have cropped up, which I'll go into. I mean, a comet is moving at utterly horrendous speeds through the solar system, incredibly far away from us. And not only that, but, you know, bits occasionally are breaking off as it gets towards the sun. It starts evaporating and the hell starts going everywhere. And we got a spacecraft to tail it, to go as close as we dare, and then launch a lander and actually get down to the surface. That should have had some sort of ticker tape parade. That is an amazing moment. But you know what did we do? What did we collectively do? We lost our shit over a t-shirt. This t-shirt, I might add, or Hawaiian shirts, whatever you want to call it. But and you know that was our reaction. Was, what's that guy wearing? No, look what we just did. What's that guy wearing? You know, I'm deeply offended by it. That bit of cloth, I'm deeply offended. And, I mean, I saw some comments where I feel threatened. Threatened? What the fuck is wrong with you? You feel threatened by a t-shirt? That's not even, it doesn't even say we're going to come and kill you on it. It's just a t-shirt. Calm down. Just chill. I mean, this was a momentous occasion for human civilization, and we were all cut up and feeling like you need a safe space because of a shirt. I say this shirt. So if you're watching this and you feel threatened or you need a safe space or anything like that now, simply because I'm wearing this, you are a pathetic human being. Yeah, I'm sorry. You get off the internet, because there's far worse things on the internet. Yeah, but thankfully it all calmed down, and we were all amazed by the landing. Except no, wait, that didn't happen at all. What happened is we went into a tirade over sexism in science. How you can't get a job as an engineer because of that shirt, and how you can't be a world-class mathematician because of that shirt. You can't be an astronaut because of that shirt. What a load of bollocks that is. And just, I mean, if you feel like you can't do it because of that shirt, or things like this shirt, or the odd comment someone might make, which might very well be a sexist comment. If you feel like you can't be that world-class engineer who's going to build the biggest bridge over a massive over the English Channel, or something like that, good. If you feel that this shirt, or even just this attitude of not being offended by the shirt, is holding you back doing those amazing things, being the best mathematician that can be, being an incredibly adventurous astronaut or something like that. Good. I absolutely do not want you to be those things, because if you can't get over a t-shirt, I don't want you designing a bridge that needs to transport thousands of people across every day and hundreds of tons of material. No, I don't want you doing it. You clearly don't have the capacity for anything that might be a bit stressful. Now, why I'm actually making this video, I'm going to go back to Matt Taylor in a moment, but Tim Hunt made some comments 2 or 3 days ago, I think. And from what I can see from those comments, they were absolutely sexist. I think the guy has demonstrated himself to be a bit of an idiot, and I'm glad of the ridicule he's going to get. I'm glad he's been called out on it. Although I've my observations of it's only been a few days, but my observations so far of this, compared to the kickoff I saw about the shirt, Tim Hunt has got off really very lightly. I'm not seeing the hundreds of people sharing. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I realise hundreds of people are sharing, but the people on my particular Facebook who I saw left, right, and centre sharing about this shirt and how outrageous it was and what a crime, I've not seen anyone yet. I might be wrong. I might have missed a post or two, but I've not seen anyone yet kicking off about this. And this genuinely was very clearly sexist. So you know, where are they? But you know, sadly, I've noticed this to be a bit of a trend with a lot of the feminists that I come across, normally on Facebook. They'll have a huge kick-off about the London Underground posters that had a model on the picture. But I don't hear a sound coming out of them about the lack of women's reproductive rights in Ireland. That's a genuine thing that the feminist movement, and quite frankly everyone, should be whacking away at, making sure women can get those reproductive rights in, you know, so just across a large lake, effectively, you know. But I don't hear a word out of them about stuff like that. They seem to, on the whole, have massive kick-offs and organised protests over things that are clearly not sexist. And I mean, sometimes some of the kick-offs I see actually turn out to be outright fictional, things that didn't even happen. Where some of the actual problems women face, which is, you know, legally there aren't many at all, which is great. But some of the actual problems women do face are basically ignored by a lot of feminism nowadays. I tend to feel. Now, please don't get me wrong. There are some fantastic feminists out there. I just wish, for the sake of feminism, they'd speak up a bit, no, they'd speak up a lot. Actually, they'd need to speak up a lot. The loudest feminists seem to be, I mean, quite frankly, quite crazy, and to be brutally honest, sexist. I mean, science through history, like most things, has had, you know, some severe sexism problems. On the whole, this is no longer the case. No doubt there are sexist scientists around, just like there are sexist postal workers. But I wouldn't throw the whole postal industry under the bus, saying it's incredibly sexist because Jim the postman turns out to be a sexist. It'd be a bit crazy to then extrapolate that to the whole industry. But people do seem to do this with science and engineering and maths. I don't really know why. Although I suspect neither do they. I mean, I love science. I'm no good at it, but I love it nonetheless. And when I see a man like Tim Hunt making comments that he did, it bugs the hell out of me. But equally, when I see what happened with the Rosetta landing and how it got turned into a witch hunt over this T-shirt, it's hard for me to have any sympathy for feminism at all. I think basically my point I'm trying to make here overall is I think feminists kick off about the wrong things. I don't understand why. I mean, the Rosetta Land, I think, was fantastic. They reduced Dr. Matt Taylor to tears on camera to apologise for wearing a T-shirt on what was probably the biggest day of his life. Well, it was I think it was the next day he ended up apologising. But the biggest momentous moment of his career and his life, And I mean, you know, I can't help but think his friends and family would have been so proud of him, and then that happened to him. That it was just bullying. He didn't wear anything to come after you. He didn't do anything at all to try and piss you off or scare you or needing to retreat into a safe space over a fucking t-shirt. The feminists who did that make feminism look like an absolute joke. And sadly, the feminists out there who might agree with me, who might think that went way too far, it was too harsh, it was just bullying, it was nasty, over something that wasn't even sexist. I think you're kind of culpable too if you stayed quiet about it. I mean, if you didn't, if you did speak up, fantastic. But to be honest, most that I could see didn't speak up. Well, to be honest, most spoke out against Matt Taylor. Most were on that bandwagon, and if you want to kick off on something, go for Tim. I think he was quite sexist, and it deserves to be pointed out. But I'd say if you're going to do it, go for it in a sensible way, not in a way where you look like a tit. Just be nice. You know, just try that. Okay, little rant over. But there's my t-shirt. For anyone it offends. Goodbye.